Hello. Okay. Oh, started recording again. Okay. La la la. Look at that tree. It's like a wall. Amazing. I wonder if you grew up against another tree and that tree is missing. Look at all these other trees. Who do you think took those? I met a white man. I don't want to be rude, but he was like, all these trees fell down because of a massive earthquake, 320 some odd years ago. And you look at these trees and it's like, no, that's from logging, dude. And that's not just from logging 100 years ago. Yeah, that's from logging 300 years ago. They're trying to explain to people why there's logging 300 years ago in Canada, because we weren't supposed to be here then, right? I never think about it. They never figure it out. They always believe everything they're told, like blind idiots. So when you talk to white people, if you want to know about stuff, talk to a white person, talk to the experts, and then forget everything you've heard because you know it's wrong. White people never know the truth about anything, okay? They never do. And you might hear them talk about spiritual things or conspiracies, same thing. Not right. You'll hear them have alternate theories, but white people can never have the right answer to anything. They're always wrong. They're always wrong. They're always fucking wrong. You can never get the truth out of them. Their brains are so fucking scrambled. Anyway, people, Scottish, what do you call them? Knights, were coming out here, as far back as, well, the beginning of time, 1,000 years ago, which is really the beginning of time, right? The history as we know it really began 1,000 years ago, okay? And they added 1,000 along the way, which, it wasn't just a typo, right? Because they were constructing reality. To pen humans in, they thought they would basically construct 1,000 by 1,000 pen, right? 1,000 points of light. What do you think that is? They've already constructed your cage. Part of it is the first 1,000 years of what you taught of as history and the Middle Ages and all that. That's all made up. Oh, sure, I'm sure anthropologists and archaeologists can find hovels and shit and all that, but it doesn't really say much. I mean, that stuff could be millions of years old, tens of thousands of years old. So they created the first 1,000 and heavily doctored the second 1,000 with an increasing amount of warfare, which was supposed and presaged by what anyone was being taught about the first 1,000 years. Now, in 1002, as it were, people weren't aware of this, right? But at some time, people 1,000 years ago didn't have this calendar, didn't even have this sense of time. Like I don't really know. You'd have to tell me as soon as we had this idea of zero in the year 10 and all that. Like, when did that begin, right? Well, you'll notice that around the year zero in school, well, it's Greece and Rome, right? And further back into Mesopotamia, Alexandria, right? Egypt, anywhere from 1,000 years, the upper, the lower dynasties, all that kind of stuff. Upper, lower Egypt, second, third, fourth dynasties, all that kind of stuff. That's all fiction, right? Along with the fucking pyramids themselves, okay? And it's all around the number zero, which is Genesis, basically, for anthropology. You ever wonder why Jesus is considered, among academia, the center of time? Because the purpose of time is to torture you. So Jesus is born in year zero. What a convenience. Wow. Jesus was born when the year was turned into nothing. They turned his birth into a nothing. And then 33 years later, and 3 months after his birth, in Christmas, 333, right, which is the number of the sun, 3, in many different ways, and a black hole is put over the sun, called the torture of man by birth. And that follows the idea of Grecian, that you knew that the hero was going to die. You knew he was going to pluck his eyes out, right? Every play in Greece is a tragedy. Every play in Shakespeare is a tragedy. Everything on TV is a tragedy. The Bible is a tragedy. It's a Greek tragedy, right? And it exposes you and grooms you to think of life as tragic, just like biology and anthropology does, just like history does, just like warfare, just like the economic depressions, the news, everything. They teach you that life is a battle of wills between the yin, the yang, the good and the evil, and their identity is based in time from beginning to end on mutual annihilation, which is Gnostic Kabbalism, which is what all of Egypt, its Egyptian alchemy, the occult, is all based on the fabrication and the ownership of the persuasive purpose and knowledge to achieve such a religious prerogative over the human mind, from your local mall to everything you've ever learned in school, mannerisms and languages of every profession in the world, and especially those which have an emotional and mental contact with human beings. Police, pastors, teachers, parents, you name it. Driving school. Everybody a schizoid. Everybody filled with the schizoid complex. Living against themselves. And told that man is an ill condition. There's always reasons in the archaic books about, why things are the way they are. And why you should be really thankful that everything is as happy and wonderful as it is. While basically living in Middle Ages, with all kinds of inquisitions being practiced upon your very flesh, even as we speak, right? They make the chemtrails look like cotton candy. Now, this isn't just evil. This is as good as evil can be. This is the tree of good and evil, which is the tree of human personality, right? And that every character in a TV show is essentially evil. And you are every character, and you identify with every character in every book and TV show you've ever seen. And so if anyone's killed, you are killed. You are being tortured. Everyone thinks that you should die at the end of the film, and they don't care how it happens. The bloodier and the more painful, the better. A missile could go through your head, and everyone would be clapping and relieved because the bold sacrifice had been achieved. Which means no one has ever killed them, but that an innocent person is being murdered who lives in the audience, right? I saw Natural Born Killers with my father. When we came home, he attacked me like a predator from the film. I was like, hey, Dad, I'm really violent, doctor. And he attacked me. You see how persuasive films are at a subconscious level. So Jesus is not the Son of God, and his relationship or his Father of any kind is one of mutual annihilations. When Jesus is killed, God is killed. They're both killed, right? He's no longer a legitimate child because God has allowed him to die, even though he had the power to save him. The way that this is resolved in law is because Jesus attains to the identity of his killer, his illegitimate father. And by assigning the identity of the killer to Jesus, you relieve God of the agency of his death. And give the credit for allowing himself or his son to be killed as though for your sake. While killing your mind and your children at the same time, every fucking Easter and every fucking Christmas, the rest of an alien fucking existence. All right, I'll take a break. Witchcraft is hard. But it's hard on you, right? There's the witchcraft you can learn in nature by yourself, and then there's this really powerful, gnarly witchcraft that is the world. And that's like, these are different orders entirely. These people are to me like fucking Gandalf would be to a bug. They are very well organized. And they've had a long time to do it. They know their fucking and they've constructed all of time and the chronology of history and anthropology and all of the other things attached. Anthropology has been called the backbone of all knowledge. Immanuel Kant, who forwarded various ideas, along with the idea that you're actually never fully human, and so you don't deserve human rights. But the positive thing is that one day you might become human, right? They might one day pronounce you human, so you could actually have all the rights. You've deluded yourself into thinking that you under inhumane conditions. So you never have rights, and they're certainly not on paper. If you think your rights on a piece of paper, fucking rights. You have the right to think and poop and piss. Well, that's good enough for me. I gave up my license in driving because I wanted to be able to do a lot of significant traveling without being molested. I find that the people who molest me the most are white women who think they're police officers while walking in some of the most remote areas I can find. Yeah, it's nice that I haven't run into a fucking female today. It's not that females are essentially so bad, but the system is bad to them, and it makes them toxic, along with the men. Oh, what a pleasant journey. Wonderful day. I can tell that Jay hadn't been out over the last week or Christmas because he didn't understand how difficult the weather had been out here. It's okay. Not everyone has the time to walk this much. I don't need the company of an animal, thankfully. My own animal. I do. I find that I am an animal. I remember I can think of a coffee shop I went with my dad into school. And I hated church. I hate everything about it, right? But to be able to show my hatred in the ways that I did, I became made the object of some kind of social humiliation for being shy or withdrawn or not wanting to go on a camping trip with these white, prissy Christian cunts. I was a born Satanist, you know. I fucking hate Christians by birth. And it's not like they are such and such bad people. My own family are Christian, but it's, you know, what is mortifying. I want to take leave of that. I don't want to disrespect them, but it's time for humans to really enjoy life, don't you think? I know we all have beautiful experiences. I know everyone in every religion is sound and has nice experiences on the earth that are worth sharing in the powerful ways that human bond share the precious moments that we have through time and with those that come after us and those that are here and those that have helped you to be here to begin with. Fine. I'm not wishing to assail this citadel of human warmth and goodness and rightful peace and natural peace you deserve, and you shouldn't have to earn, but you do nonetheless, and you find it. I'm happy to sit with that. It doesn't, you know, that's not cyanide to me. Kind of makes you want to be quiet for a moment. The reason I don't focus on that is because I didn't have a lot of it. So, you know, mystery solved. Okay, I'm not trying to be unnecessarily enigmatic here. I find that nature's always taught me, whatever you're talking about, try to include yourself, because people will understand what you're saying. You know, because you're human, and you know. So yes, I've had some very bad experiences, but if I'm having a good day, just to reflect upon how wonderful life can be and how wonderful it is for people who work hard at it, whose families do things, and the skills to do various jobs, but also the skill that required to keep, you know, leadership qualities. And easiness, I would say the thing is not just leadership or having a big house or being strong and hardworking, and the ability to be soft, the ability to be understanding, the ability to help and to enjoy and to respect, like a garden, a soft, easy, warm home environment. Everybody is softer and everything's easier. You ever seen, like, if you have a problem with your remote control in your TV and you're in a good mood, you're like, okay, get some batteries, knock it against my head, kick the TV. But if you're in a bad mood, you're like, fuck, this is the last fucking thing. And you turn to your child and go, fuck you, fuck this house, fuck my life. And they're like, Dad, you're overreacting. But there's things when your life isn't warm and cozy that can just send you off. This is the moment, you know? And I get that all the time. Whereas other people probably don't. And I live with it and I keep it under control, right? You know, and I don't take it out on other people. And I always tell myself when I have lots of hot emotions inside of me, which isn't just for children characters on TV shows about dysfunction, it's for all of us at any age. I say, okay, I acknowledge I'm angry or I'm in some kind of shock, right? Wow, it's amazing how people can get under my skin and into my blood for whatever reason, whether this is residual or whatever it is. My system has to go alert, alert, alert. Something has been, something that will, something that is. And how you treat that in that moment may have, depending on the situation and the source, the hugest thing to do with how things happen at that point. Whether you're going to kind of metaphorically go to war with something or someone, or whether a half an hour later you're going to have a good crap and say, hey, I got this shit, right? And which way do you want to go? And it's not certain on any given day which way you can take it. But the important thing is to acknowledge the power of those emotions. And for me, it's, I don't share them always. And I hate it when sometimes I have to. I'll say, Mom, look, I just got to tell you a little bit about my life because it's just fucking bothersome. Other things you learn to live with. And you say, over time, like, it won't go away, but I'll learn to live with it. And you write a letter, or you know, one day you just realize you got to pick up the phone and just do something about it. But whatever you got to do, and then lay it to rest. You're not looking to fight an endless war with people that have wronged you. But sometimes you dispense with the court, dispense with the police, dispense with out-and-out violence, and just find a way to say your piece, then go on. That is the one thing I would say. It's still risky, but if you've been hurt and you feel really molested in life, and often it takes years to really appreciate how awful a situation is, and it's very hard to find a single person who's responsible, even if one person was just really particularly bad. And so you had enough time, say, over the years, which takes for the shock to come out, say like a psychotic bruise, chicken a bruising. You have time to. Don't worry if you can't put words to it, because your system will appreciate, like the blush and the bloom of a kind of poisoning, which is humiliating, awful. But the strongest people in the world have to endure it, and they're not fucking Jesus. You're among a goodly company. Every great fucking strong male or woman on this earth, tree and every limb, knows what you're feeling. Okay, so you're in good company. Make it any easier, and no one thinks it should. And of course you feel alone, but it won't be forever. And nature does understand. You're not a bad person for wanting to hurt someone because you feel so angry. That could be the anger they put into you. If someone's carrying around poison and they're part of it, poison you, and 10 years later, which could be anything, by the way, and 10 years later you just like want to kill them, well, it's because they put the poison spirit of murder into your blood. Right? And there isn't a crime on the books that puts a name to that. So some people could get murdered. I'm not saying right now, but who maybe put murder into the blood of that person without knowing it. Right? Where is the moral agency? Humans are just poisoning each other and murdering each other willy-nilly, as it were. Right? And that keeps the whole penitentiary system going. It gives the police a job, because you think, oh fuck, violence is always erupting. We need somebody. We need fucking somebody who's got the balls to go out there and answer domestic call number 600 for, Bubba John and his brood of immigrant concubines or something. That's not nice to immigrant, because immigrant women come from countries where there are unrestricted sex trades for girls and women, and they come to countries like Canada and marry and get away from that. And they might hope to get some sort of nice bag or something. And they're often very interested in serving men, or they're just experiencing the first kind of real opportunity to heal that they've had since they were born. So you see Filipino women or people from Southeast Asia sometimes have a little compassion for them. It's amazing. I mean, they've come to a completely new world. There's the point when you're sexually abused where, there's still a point where you're going to have to take some risks and do this or do that to situate yourself somewhere where you can begin to get a toehold on feeling as safe as you do every day, all of their lives. And you have a completely different world, right? Again, feminism, a watershed in human bioethics, right? Yes, women care about women, but now we've gotten specific about why and what extent though, because we or men or mankind are producing these evil conditions for women. Right? So don't go pointing the finger just because a woman's in the sex trade or marries a white man to get out of her country, because it might actually be pretty fucking good for her, even if he's old and ugly, because he has money and she's serving him and she has security more than she's ever had her entire life. And she's a decent person and she likes serving him and he's nice to her, right? And love comes in many forms, right? If a Filipino woman, wanted to make me toast like my mother did, just give me massages and listen to my stupid fucking theories and smile, and all she needed was like a warm place to sleep, a bit of a dowry or something, maybe that would be a good thing. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but I mean, people do. I still think it's gross, but you understand, like, when someone is sexually abused or fleeing their home environment, there's going to be points in your life where you're just going to have to take chances, scrabble together. It's smart, right? Step 1, get away from the daily fucking violence. Step 2, find some place I can rent where I can get some kind of income, so I can just have my own place to sleep every night and no one's going to hurt me, and I got something to do every day, and I can just start to settle into some fucking routine where I get a grip on my life. Right? How many people just want to do that? Right? I've been doing that my whole life. Everywhere I go, everywhere I live. Put it into my job. Right? Along with talking about it. So there's, I'm not the most abused person in the world, but I'm not the happiest person. But I am a person. And I like being a person because I don't know what else to be. One animal. Humans think about things like, life is short and it goes by so quickly. And, he's like, I see people who are in their 20s, they're in the MMA. In my 20s, I was sitting at home. It's so amazing when you're in your 20s and 30s and even your 40s and 50s. And you look at the world, people when they're 18, they're like playing at Wimbledon or something. It's like, holy fuck. I don't necessarily feel jealous of them because I don't want to do those things, but it's like, it's amazing what people can do at a young age. Like, they're already men. They're already like living money and they've got a girlfriend or they're married. It's like, I've never even kissed a girl, it's like a straight across comparison doesn't look good to me. But these extraordinary differences, they're crude and you start exploring them, right? Where, when I was 18, I wasn't going to a gym and bonding with males and saying, I want to learn how to fight and make some money kicking people's asses. I was walking around ponds and lakes and writing poetry and memorizing it and just going through the day like this because it was so peaceful. Step after step, nobody was yelling, nobody was hurting me. Nature always drew me out and said, hey, Landon, this is where you're going to find what you need. Just keep faithful. Take time. And like some sort of strange gardener or farmer that doesn't exist, I just thought, look, the seeds have been planted. The seeds of agony, the seeds of dysfunction, estrangement, violence. Let's see what we can grow with them. The only thing I have is pain. And what church and what job can you go to and say, I've just got gut-wrenching pain. Pain that maybe no one wants to recognize. Pain so deep, pain so long, pain so agonizing and heavy on my chest every fucking day of my life. Nature, what do you have for me? And no religion tells you always what you have to do, what you have to bow to, whose dick you have to suck, what you have to think, what you have to read, God's fucking words, how to make your life a better place, worshiping some prick in the sky. Fuck you. Nature takes my pain and my shit and my piss. I piss in my mother's face every fucking day, and she's never fucking held it against me, and she takes all your fucking shit too, motherfucker. Hey, you think shit doesn't come out of your asshole? You fucking cunt. Right? Be a real person. Don't be some Christian cunt. Right? I bring pain. I bring carbon fucking dioxide. And I get fucking air. It's okay, you know. Not everything in biology and nature works like your fucking economic system. Right? It actually works out here. My waste does not make haste. You know, it's all right. You know, you don't cost the world anything by shitting and pissing and vomiting and being sick and crying. Your tears don't cost nature a fucking thing. Right? And they're worth something. If not to me, to the world, to the real world. The world that children deserve never to be separated from, like their own fucking mother. So many fucking environmental cunts walking around. Mother Earth, Mother Earth. What the fuck do you know about your mother? You ever gotten on your knees and cried to your fucking mother? Cry to your fucking mother for the fucking love of this fucking earth. When's the last time you did that, motherfucker? Think doing your recycling is going to bring you to that place in your heart? Recycling doesn't even fucking exist. I'll show you recycling. Put your body in the dead. That's fucking recycling. Just re-dying all the time. Just keep dying, motherfucker. Keep recycling. Keep killing the sun. Killing the truth. Keep recycling all the stupid fucking same ideas that have kept you a slave. Do that, motherfucker. Do that in my name. Do that in God's name. You fucking little. Society's not my fucking religion. It's my fucking. And what are you doing? Fucking learning how to enjoy it. I'm on the time looking how to enjoy myself before it goes down. I'm already building a fucking new ship, motherfucker. What are you doing? Building a flesh and blood little ark for myself. Not really an ark, because an ark means death. The death of the sun. Arc seconds. The death of the sun. Every measure of geometry is a measure of death. Every measure of time is a measure of death. Right? Right? Declination. Ascension. Sentience. Don't worry about it, it's okay. Let me worry about it. I guess you could say this is a way of talking. Cathartic magical spells that may mean nothing in the end. Because nothing means anything in the end. Unless the end, and from birth to birth, all things gain their true meaning. From day to day is where life truly exists, and not from beginning to the end, and not from death to death, and not from the still that is attributed to the surviving value of your so-called fucking flesh and blood and all this. I love talking like this, but it is a little ominous. I scare myself a little bit. Mimicking me. I wonder what that'd be like. But like, if someone was trying to pretend like they're me, hey, motherfuckers, the earth is not real. I am the cunt that knows the truth. Don't fucking kick down my throat. What does that? Well, if I'm using the word cunt, you can be sure I'm having a good time, or I'm very angry. It could be great happiness or great sadness, but certainly a total lack of vaginas throughout my entire adult life. Danger, danger. Well, it's a good day. I haven't smoked that much weed. I'm pretty stoned. And I've had 2 of these caffeine drinks. I'm doing okay. This is my apotheosis. This is my nadir. This is my apogee. My zenith, if you will. My zephyr. My pharaonic, zephyronic doodad. In other words, the farthest I'm going to get from my home on any given day. Not bad for him played with himself in almost 4 days. I don't want to. We have to look at porn, and it's like, okay, if I see another vagina, the last time I looked at porn, she should pay me to be her obstetrician, for Christ's sake. She's like got this little pink ball moving out of her pussy, close up. It's like something from your biology class. And then she pans up to her face, making all these little gestures of like, yes, yes, keep doing that to me. And in a sense, she's very talented. She knows that something in the human male brain wants to do something to the pussy, and then wants to look you in the face and see what it does. Right? It's like some kind of interesting little. You have to see it like in part of the machine. It's like this part of the machine is like, and this part of the machine is like, ooh, she like, yes, baby, do it to me. And the award goes to, for best to complete hunk of shit, Mary Jane from Nestor, Idaho. Your self-warm body camera and have been analyzed by a series of judges from the porn industry and Hollywood, and we've decided that you are one incredible actress. How did you do it? Well, my husband, of course, is a complete chump, two pumps, as it were. So I'm trying to get into like method acting with what it would be like to be with a real man. The thing is that men are likely to come very quickly unless they get into a certain energetic setup. It's like you have to set up your Apple TV. It's unfortunate that so many men think it's their job to give women pleasure, because men, I think, I've never had sex, but I'm guessing that men are actually losing out on the pleasure, and that their pleasure is supposed to be actually doubled by satisfying the woman, but is actually cut in half. So really, you're getting about 25% of the pleasure that you should by the focus that men seem to need to take in probably giving pleasure to women and making sure that they enjoy having sex with you. A good example is something I heard in a genetic profile of a TV show my mom was watching. And the girl said to her boyfriend, and they had kissed, she said, "Did you really mean it?" And as a guy, I know what this means. Like, for a guy to kiss a girl is already like to put your lips on her chickeny lips, her chapped, possibly hairy lips at all. To me, is quite a to do as a man. And chances are you've lowered your inhibitions because maybe you even like this girl. And you might think maybe you would have to really like someone to want to touch her lips with yours. And she's saying, "Did you really mean it?" But here's the thing. She never tells him if she really meant it. And top of which, he tells her, "You're the one who kissed me first. You initiated the kiss." Right?